Hi, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Musings podcast. I'm your host, Gungu Mildred, and I'm so happy that you've joined me on another Saturday for another special episode. On today's episode, I'm going to discuss something, and I just have a question for myself. Was I the drama? Like, just basically. Because the reason I'm talking about this is because a couple of days ago, I was thinking about my life and my work experiences and just my life experience up to now. I haven't had the easiest of lives yet. I haven't had things easy. But most of the things I can just be like, oh, maybe like looking for a job, let's say. It has been hard because I've been looking for a job for 3 years that I've been out of work. And I started even looking for work before I left my work. So there's that. And that one is like life. Si mi peke yangu napitia hiyo. But kuna vitu zingine that I've been through and I look at them and I'm like, okay. So the other day, I don't know what was happening, but it just came back to me, all these moments that I'd like to forget. But then when they were happening, yes, I felt bad, but some of them, I would just like shake them off and move on. Until the other day when I was thinking about it and I was like, no, actually people were treating me very, very badly. I wasn't the drama, but maybe I was. Because I was looking at it and I'm like, hey, mbona hii ilifanyika na mbona hii kafanyika hivi and mbona did these people say this and this and this. And was I really the drama? Was my reaction overboard? Was that former boss who told me that I'm very temperamental, and very emotional, was she right about me? Was I valid for reacting the way I reacted? Ama was I truly wrong? Again, was I the drama? So I'm going to just share a couple of instances, and when I talk about them, please feel free to come to my DMs on Instagram, Mimi's Musings Podcast, or WhatsApp me if you have my number, or even comment on the comment section down below and tell me that, yeah, you are the drama. I'll take it. Because I feel like I need closure from these moments. When they were happening, they were really bad. And some of these things really hurt. I don't know, as I said, I will shake them off and move on. But I feel like I need some closure. And so I just want to talk about them today. So the first instance I'm going to talk about is this job that I had. And in this job, I'll talk about a couple of people. So let me start from back when I first got employed in this company. So when I first got employed in that company, so it was back in 2014, I was working and I had a head chef. This head chef was the one who had done the interview for me. I had mad respect for him. I still do. He's one of the best chefs, Chef George, one of the best chefs I've ever worked with. But he used to have moods. And this is something that ukisikiza hii Chef George akiongea usinichukulie ubaya, ni ukweli. I'm not the only one who thought about it. A lot of the people that I was working with, a lot of my colleagues were like, hey, leo George ako na mood. Ama leo George ako hivi na hivi na hivi. And we will talk about it because it was true. Sometimes angekuja tu like akotuna zake, by the way, mnajua tu leo. Or sometimes like even seeing me talking to other people anakuja tu anaanza, he would ask a question and you're like, what? In your head you're like, why did you even ask me that? Why would you ask me that? But anyway, because he's your boss, because unamunderstand vile yuko, you will just be like, move on with it. Now this one day, I was sick. We used to have this meeting every shift. Tukiingia shift, we have a meeting. So shift moja inatoka, ingine inaingia. So we'll have a meeting, like a handover meeting sort of. So we would have that, and I was always participating. Now, where we used to stand, the door to the changing room was right behind it. And I would stand there, I would have the meeting every day, ever since I was employed. I started the job in September, and this was December, I think. I got a very terrible headache. I was so sick. I don't understand where that headache had come from. I was so bad that I had to go to Gertrude's where my grandma used to work. And I remember Mama Ian, she's the one who took me to the doctor. And we were like, the doctor was asking me questions about it. And I couldn't even respond, like, ni nini imefanyika. Then the medication he gave me, what is it called? Beta something, betadine or beta pain or something. I don't know. But apparently I'm allergic to it. So instead of the headaches going down, they became worse. So there was that. Now, before they became worse, before I went to the hospital, I remember the first day they started, I had left work in the morning, night shift, and I went home. The headache was from then. It persisted. I came back to work with a headache. Because remember, if you remember from a story a while ago, I talked about it where I was like, my grandmother never allowed me to just stay at home because I was sick. I would have to go to the school and the teachers would be the one to send me back home because I was sick. So that thing, I think I took it to my workplace as well. So end a job, ndo waambie at that time. Later on, I came to be like, no, kama siski poa siendi. But at that time, I was still very respectful to that fact. So I remember I went, and during the meeting that we used to have, instead of going to stand where we used to stand, I decided to sit in the changing room, but the door was open and I was sat there listening to the meeting. Yeah. But then I couldn't stand. My head was paining like, yo. And then after the meeting, I sent someone to go and buy me Panadol. Hapo juu kulikuwa, it was at Nakumatt UK, so the Nakumatt UK used to be there. He went to buy me the medication there before they went home after their shift. So I'm sat there waiting, and George, he comes and he's like, yani mali tumefikishana sana, ni madharau imeanza. Watu tuko kwa meeting, lakini hata uwezi simama ukuje kwa meeting, ukuje kusikiza kile tunasema, umeamua kukaa huku hivi ndani. Hii ni madharau gani, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, why are you yelling at me? Is that how you're supposed to address the situation? Shouldn't you come and tell me, Mili, leo ni aje hujakuja meeting? Mbona umeamua kukaa huku? Why did he come to me with an accusatory tone? Why did he start yelling at me? Because I was like, pardon? Did you just start yelling at me? He was saying all these things and I'm like, hey, I've never done this before. Can you just ask me why I've done this instead of jumping to your own conclusions? I was so pissed with Chef George because he did not approach me and ask me, and my head was still aching so badly. I had never felt that kind of pain in my head ever before. Like I'd had migraines, I'd had a simple headache that went away with a simple medication. But this one, no. And I had come to work. I did not want to call in to say that I couldn't come to work. And I was going to work because at this time, I think we used to be just one person per shift. So in the kitchen, I was going to be just by myself. And I was sick. Uzuri, the night supervisor that I had, Sue, I think, she was good enough, she could help out. But I was feeling terrible. So I was like, wacha nimeze hiyo headache, maybe itasaidia. The Panadol or whatever came and nothing. I took it and nothing. But that was before something happened. So Chef George continues talking to me and he's yelling and he's being sarcastic. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, yo, aki sina nguvu ya kujibishana na yeye. So what did I do? He was standing right outside the changing room. I banged the door on his face. I did that. I regretted it later because, yeah, that is that thing, temperamental, I was being told about. But this wasn't about temper. It was about disappointment mostly. And just the sheer fact that, like, ask me a question, please. Give me the chance to explain myself. Ukipata mtoto amefanya makosa, muulize mbona ulifanya hivi. You just don't take the kiboko and you start beating up that child. Give them a chance to explain. And maybe in their head it made sense. Unaona? Unampata hapo amefanya, muulize mbona ulifanya hivi baba, mbona ulifanya hivi mama, akuambie nilifanya hivyo because of this and this. If you think that to them it made sense, talk to them and explain to them why it is not right what they did. Usichukue tu slippers ama kiboko umeweza kutandika mtoto saa analia na ajui mbona nachapwa, anashangaa unanichapa kwa nini, mimi nilijua nafanya hivi and it was the right thing, why are you beating me up? You explain to the child hivi si vizuri, unaona. But this man did not. I was just disappointed actually. And I felt so like judged and nini. So I just banged the door on his face. And later on, he came in. I think it was the next day, I think. Or after my off, because I think I was going on my off day. That's why I managed to go to my grandma's and go to the hospital. And then I came back to the work. And when I did, he sat me down. He called me and he sat me down and was like, what you did the other time, it was very, very bad. Like, you're not supposed to be doing that. I was like, yeah, I know. And I'm sorry that I did it. But I wish you had asked me a question instead of just judging me and speaking so sarcastically and as if that's something that I do all the time. Have I ever been that rude to you since I came here? No. Have I ever behaved in such a way since I came here? No. Then why didn't you ask me why I was doing it that day? Why didn't you think that maybe there can be a reason for me to behave that way instead of you just judging me and, doing everything and saying everything that you did? So he was like, okay, maybe that's not what I should have done. But anyway, we ended up, I apologized. I don't remember if he apologized, but I apologized and there was no consequence towards it. Like I didn't sign a warning letter or anything. I just apologized because I was honestly sorry. It's not something that I would have just done. As I said, I have great respect for him. But the way he approached me is what made me react the way I did because I was feeling very, very bad. And now in that situation, I'm asking, was I the drama or was I justified for doing what I did? Okay, tell me. Tafadhali, tell me. Number 2 scenario, same job but at a different place now. Now, after working there for a while, the company was, should I say, bought, or we got some investors? We got some investors, and these people brought in money, and the boss went haywire. He did a lot of improvements that ended up costing him a lot at the end until the company failed. One of the improvements he made, he hired now HR. Before, we didn't have a HR. We just had like somebody, her name was Beatrice. Beatrice was like the HR plus the finance manager plus Nini. Like she oversaw the company very, very well. But now she ended up leaving because of what happened. Now they had a HR and this man decided to be the bane of my existence in that company. Before, he wasn't disturbing me. But then when I was told that I'll be working under this man or a pastry chef, I've told this story before. This man harassed me so much in that pastry that he didn't want to teach me. He would ask me to go and sit down and type the recipes all the time, just type and type and type. I'll go to work, change into my chef's clothes, go into the kitchen and be like, start typing. While I'm doing that, he'll be teaching JMO inside the pastry room or whatever I could call it. I don't know. Pastry kitchen or pastry whatever. So he will continue to teach JMO. And then this JMO akaniruka siku moja when we went to the HR and they were asking me and I was like, yeah, he does this all the time. You can even ask JMO. When you're alone with the other co-workers, JMO will be like, yes, he does that. Tukaenda mbele ya HR, JMO akaniruka futi kumi. Like futi kumi. And I call him a coward up to today for doing that. But anyway, so one day, I'm in pastry, tukakuja kuitwa. This man just left us in pastry. Na katoka akaenda. So tukabaki na JMO, tukaendelea kufanya kazi, tumeachiwa. Kidogo kidogo na kuja kuambiwa naitwa na HR. Kwenda that man is there, ama is the one who came to call me even, I don't know. And he followed me up there. Anapata niko na kesi. Apparently, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm being insubordinate. They're telling me, now that insubordination, do you know where it came from? I will be told to stay and type, but then at the end of the day, I will be expected to go and wash all the dishes they've been using. So JMO and I, we had agreed because we were the junior staffs. So JMO akiosha za leo, mimi naosha za kesho. Ivo kesho kutwa, ivo. So we had a plan, James and I. But then this man would expect me, hata kama ndo nilosha za jana, leo nimekuja nimeshinda hapo nikitype, kazi yendo amenipatia, si mimi nimejitolea. He would expect by the time I'm done and I go and tell him I'm done with this one, so he'll be like giving me another one, go and continue this. Then I continue. When I go back, ataniacha nishike 1 2 3, alafu aniambie endo uoshe vyombo. JMO ameshinda leo production, so endo kuoshe vyombo. And I would look at him and be like, what do you mean? I think the first time I did. The second day nika-expect JMO apatiwa akaoshe. Tena nimepatiwa mimi ndo nikae tena ni type. Jioni imefika tena. I was like, sikutaka. Kesho basi to switch. Kesho basi to switch. JMO aende a type. Mimi nibaki hapa pia nijifunze. Alafu pia yaoshe vyombo akimaliza. Because what is this? I can't be doing that every day. I was brought here to learn. The boss expects me to learn. That's why you are hired. But this telling me to go and type all day long, and then I come back and you expect me to wash the dishes. I was like, I'm not going to do it. I was like, JMO will do it. Ni duty ya JMO. Anajua, mimi na James tuko na nini. Mimi naosha leo, yeye kesho, ivo. It was like, but hapana, si JMO amesha kibeka. Yeah, it's okay. But pia mimi sijakata. Let me bake tomorrow and JMO will wash the dishes as well. I was like, no. So James went and washed because he was like, I'm okay. Tulikuwa tusha agree, mimi ndo nafaa kuosha. But that man did not want him to go and do it. So he created an issue and then went and reported me to the HR. So naitwa, naanza kuuliza maswali and I'm like, what do you mean? I didn't even know that this man was upset with me. We had a conversation and James was there and he agreed. That is something we agreed because we're the junior staffs. We'll be washing the dishes wewe leo, kesho mimi, and that's it. Na kuna mtu akifanya hivyo huyu mwingine anaosha the pastry room. So nani anafaa kuosha pastry room? Because while I'm supposed to be washing hizo vyombo tena, hii pastry room inafaa kuoshwa pia. Nani aniosha? Si ni mimi bado? Ati si wewe ndio hujashinda huku? Okay, kazi hujashinda pastry, mbona naosha pastry? Na mbona naosha vyombo basi na si mimi nimechafua? As the HR, and the HR was looking at me and was like, oh, hutaki kujifunza. He said that hutaki kujifunza, you are very lazy, you don't want to learn anything, you're very insubordinate and all these things. And I'm like, okay. And so this other man that was a manager at the restaurant now, he comes and he goes like, because I don't know why he intervened, although I think it's because that stupid pastry chef had talked to him as well and he thought that he was in his good books or something. So they were like, okay, we're going to give you an exam to see if you've been learning. I've told this story before. So they forgot that while I'm writing the recipes, I'm literally learning. It's just that I can't perfect the practicals, but as long as like recipes nini, I'm good. So I performed better than James by just a few marks by the way, because it wasn't like like a danda anajokea nafanya. So but I still outdid him like 2, 3, 4 points or something like that. But then it wasn't the best, like it was 80-something% or something out of 100. And so that his name was Butch. He started being like, oh, you, what is this? You're supposed to be at 90-something. You're supposed to be getting 100%. And I was like, that 100% is because I'm not in the pastry. You can check the cameras and you can see. I come into work and I'm told to go and sit down and type every single day. That is what happens to me while James is being taught. James should be at 100 because apparently he's the one who's been learning and blah, 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 blah. And they were like, okay, let's see. We'll do another exam next week. So this time he keeps me in pastry. Okay, and he has to teach me, but he didn't like it. So whenever we're on break and I will go to the production room because they were next to each other, I'll go to the production room. Now, production room had people that I had worked with before. Chef George was one of them. He's the one who introduced me now to pastry in such a level. And I will go there, talk to him, blah, blah, blah. And then this man, pastry chef, will see. And whenever we'll go back to pastry, he will be like, unajua, he used to work in one of the leading coffee houses in Kenya. And he'll be like, when I was working there, people used to do very terrible things. Like how umekosana na mtu, they will change the garlic powder with the bicarbonate soda. So wana swap hizo bottles, like wanamwaga hiyo waneka kwa hicho pengine. So unadhani unaweka baking soda kumbe unaweka garlic powder. Ama unadhani unaweka garlic powder kumbe unatumia baking soda. Then your recipe inaharibu keki, unatokea kitu mbaya. And I was like, why are people be behaving like kids? That is a job. That is a workplace. Why would you do such a thing? Uko na time gani hata kufanya kitu kama hiyo? Be like, even ndo watu walikuwa. Then he started having these weird thoughts that the production people are doing that. So he'd be like, be very careful with those production people. They are doing this. They want to sabotage us. And I'm like, hizi vita zinatoka wapi kwa akili huyu mtu? Where? This is a workplace. These people have worked here for longer than he has. Yendo amekuja tu juzi, ashakuja na propaganda, all this, all that, all this, these people, blah, blah, blah. And I would tell them to Chef George and I would laugh about them. But then I think he hated me even more for that. The fact that I was closer to Chef George than to him. And he forgets that he was already treating me badly. So again, before that week ends, I'm again at the HR's office. So yeah, you're wasting time in production. You are not going to pastry. Kila saa ukiingia job unaenda production. You're wasting time there. And I'm like, I go there during break. Tuko na tea break, sindio? Tuko na lunch break, sindio? That's when I go to production. Is that wrong? Am I not supposed to go to production? Shida iko happy when I'm talking to Chef George or the production people? There's no problem. Why does he have a problem with that? And nikaambiwa tena, okay, another exam. So nimefanya a whole week exam ingine. Ndo hiyo tena, I performed better than Jimo as well. So after that wakona huyu mtu saka jaribu kutafuta tactic ingine. He complained. This man complained. I don't know about what. Until finally I was like, you know what? I don't have to be in production. I hate him. I don't have to be in don't have to be in pastry, and I hate him for that, because the other people, Jemo and the other lady who took over in pastry, they were taught, and this man was fired, by the way, eventually. And then the next person who came was so good, and he taught them so well. Alik was so selfless with them, and he taught them, and they understood. And now Jemo works in Dubai as a pastry chef, and the other lady, she has her own business for baking and stuff, because somebody took their time and taught them. But this man made me leave pastry. And I think that's where that pain was coming from, when I started thinking about all of these things and asking myself if I was the drama. Because like, I lost out on a great thing because this man just decided to be dramatic and be, I don't know, evil towards me. And I never understood why. Up to date, I do not understand why he did the things he did to me. I don't understand. And so when I went to the HR that time, I was like, you know what, I don't have to work there. Let me just be transferred. And so I was transferred from pastry, I went to production. And then akaletewa, I think it's Nini, tribal, because he was Kikuyu, Jemo was Kikuyu. The other ladies who came to work with him were Kikuyus, and they never complained about anything. So it was either a tribal thing, ama it was just me. And whatever thing that he hated about me, I do not understand it. But I take it on tribal. People told me a couple of things. Oh, maybe alikuwa nakudai ama sijui nini, which I thought was stupid because he was a married man. But I thought it was tribal. I just never understood why he did the things he did. But wherever he is, ashindwe katika jina la Yesu, because he was a terrible man. So in that situation, was I the drama? Because I don't think so. I don't. And he made me miss out on a great thing. A very, very great thing. I don't think I'll ever forgive him, by the way. Same job. After I leave pastry, I go to production. Now working in production, I was working in production. I was also working at the staff kitchen. So I've also told this story before. Staff kitchen, now there we were doing, like, you're cooking for the staff, blah, blah, blah. Now whenever you'll be there, it will be like for a whole week. So it used to be Jemo, myself, the other ladies who replaced me after I left pastry. So we would rotate because we were technically the chefs in that place. So we would be rotating. Hii week ni Jemo, next week ni the other lady, yo week ingine ni mimi, yo week ingine ni somebody else, like that. So when I was there, the marketing girl started complaining about me. There was this girl called Mary. She had just been employed as part of the marketing team. This girl made me argue with her and even made me say that Ali Kiba does not know how to need to dance, just so that I can go against her. That's how much she vexed me. Like, nakumbuka hiyo siku akiniangalia anasema ati Alikiba, akasema Alikiba hajui kudance. I think Alikiba was in Kenya for a concert or something, and I was like, Alikiba hajui kudance. Na mimi mwenye, I knew I was lying, but I just wanted to go against her. That's how much that woman vexed me. She used to irritate me because ilikuwa, have you ever seen people who just like causing chaos? That girl was like that. Kueleza tu issues mali hazifai kuwa, kitu kidogo inafanywa inakuwa something that it shouldn't be. Like a simple thing turns into such a great thing because this woman just wanted to be like that. So one time, I'm in the staff kitchen, and so she comes and she tells me like, anataka nimtafutie mop. Nikamwambia mop yenye iko hapa ni ya hii staff kitchen, na uwezi tumia mop ya hapa kwenda kupanguza ofisi. So ukitaka ya ofisi tafuta Monica. There was this girl who used to clean the place. Her name was Monica. So I was like, endo tafute Monica. Monica anatupatia mop. Anatumianga kupanguza like the offices. She goes like, hapana, wewe ndo unitafutie. I'm like, listen, I'm cooking. Siwezi acha kupika chakula niende kukutafutia mop, and Monica is the one who deals with it. Could you just go and find her? Kama yuko kwa hii side ya hii warehouse tuko, mtafute kwa hiyo ya huko nyuma. She's somewhere. She couldn't have gone far. Just look for her. She's going to help you, okay? This lady leaves and she's pissed off. She goes to the HR and tells her that nimekataa kumsaidia. And to top it off, amekataa kunisaidia saizi, and this is not the first time. Do you know that she does not say hi to us? She does not even smile at us. And I'm like, yo. I come in, I'm called by the HR, niko na kesi. Ameambia one of the other chefs akuja shikilie. Nimeenda kesi. Nauliza nini mbaya naambiwa hivyo? Na back, are you serious? Ati si smilingi now? Siwasalimiangi? Is it written in my contract that I have to say hi to these people and smile at them? They are here for a short time. Sometimes when they come, I'm in production. When am I supposed to be meeting them and saying hi? When? And am I supposed to stop my job, seriously, HR, niende kuwatafutia mop? Is that something that is part of my job? Am I supposed to do that? Is it logical that I leave my department, I leave my work, niache vitunguu zikiungua, ama nizime, nikamtafutie mop nimpatie, ndo msichana afurahi, alafu nirudi niwashe vitunguu ziendelee? So mimi nichelewe kupika, by lunchtime nafaa kuwa nimemaliza kupika, chakula ikujie watu wa Westlands restaurant wapelekewe lunch yao. So am I supposed to stop working really? The HR looks at me and unajua nilikuwa dhani mashida zitaisha ukitoka pastry. Sasa bado zinaendelea, bado wanaendelea kuja kwa ofisi yangu. Nakuona. I'm like, bastard. Like seriously. I just looked at him and walked away. I was like, stuck easy chaos zenyu. I don't want them. I left. Again, same lady, a couple of, I think a week later, weeks later, she comes back. This time, so production, because we used to make fresh juice, and we also used to package drinking water. So they used to have clean water. It used to be filtered and everything. So this lady comes and tells me, antaka nikamchote maji ya kunywa production. Waenda nayo kwa ofisi huko juu. I'm like, I cannot do that. Why? Because I'm cooking again. She goes like, I understand that you're cooking, but unataka kunchotea maji. Nikaambia, please do this. Just knock on the door ya production. Our production manager is there. He sat there. He will open the door, just asking atakuitishia mtu akuchotea hapo ndani. Because she wasn't allowed to go there. The marketing team or anybody else who doesn't work in production was not allowed to enter production. So they were like, no, you're not supposed to enter there. So just call the production manager. He's going to assist you. Just knock on the door, he will open and he will assist you. And she's like, no, kuja ukanifanyie, endo unchote yake na kuambia tu ini favor, alafu unakata. This lady forgets that ametoka kunipeleka kwa HR kwa ujinga ati simsmailiangi. Now she's begging me nikamchote maji. And I didn't even say no because I didn't want to. I didn't say no because she had taken me there to the HR before. I was saying no because, again, that is something she could do on her own without me having to go and participate. So I tell her, no. Waenda tu watakusaidia, please. I can't leave the food. And I don't remember what I was cooking, but it was very delicate. I couldn't just leave it. Tena ndio hiyo mimi nimeitwa kwa HR. I go there and they're like, tena umerudi kwa ofisi yangu tena. And I'm like, I'm not the one who's bringing myself here. Why am I here this time? And that time ni, umekata kuchotena maji ya nini kukunywa. So you're not a team player. I'm like, I'm going to ask the same questions I asked the last time. Am I supposed to leave my work just to go and do things for these ladies who are marketing so that they don't say, oh, Mildred refused to help me? Is that my job really? I've given us the solution. Go and ask, knock, and somebody will open and they'll help you. She doesn't want to do that. She wants me to stop working and go and do that for her. Is that logical? Does that make sense? And this man looks at me blankly and he goes like, you should have done what she wanted. That is teamwork. Oh, na so chakula ingeungua alafu tungeenda loss because kama ni vitunguu or whatever it is I was cooking zingeharibika alafu nani angelipia mimi? Will she have bought them? It was me toka hapa enda makelele kila saa juu yako kila saa niko hapa na solve cases zako, hakuna mtu mwingine analetwa kwa hiyo ofisi isipokuwa wewe. I think that was the last time that lady took me there because we had now this blowout where I was like, Alikibe doesn't even know how to dance. And I don't know, tulijibishana kiasi about I don't know what, without me really addressing what I wanted to address. But she never reported me that time. She was reporting me about stupid things, but this time she didn't. Then time evaluation in Africa. Okay, not even before evaluation. I've told this story before, but they forgive me for repeating it. I just had to talk about it again. My grandma she had gone for a surgery, a knee replacement surgery. And then we go to see her later and she's admitted at the ICU. Somebody fucked up really, really big. So the next day I called the HR I'm like, I want to tell him that I can't go to work because I wasn't going to be able to concentrate knowing that my grandmother is in the ICU. So I call him, and this man, in the staff van going to work, he refused to answer my phone call. Blatantly, he refuses to answer. Watu walikuwa kwa gari wananiambia aliona na kasemeki kinataka nini sishiki simu zake. Najua kinataka kuniambia kikuji job. And vinasema iki, that's what he was saying. So I called the driver because I know him, Amos, and he was sat next to him. They charged to sit at the front with Amos. So I called the driver, and the driver answers, and he's like, yeah, yuko hapa. And I can hear him say in the background, sitaki kumwongelesha, usinipatie hizo simu, siongee na mtu mimi. Sitaki kumwongelesha, ananipigia nini? Sitaki kusikia mambo yake. So because I could hear him, I tell the driver, I tell Amos, mwambie shosho yangu akwa ICU juu they used to drop me at the hospital. She was admitted at Mpisha. So they used to drop me at Mpisha. He knew my grandmother was in the hospital. So I told him, my grandmother's situation has gotten worse. She's in the ICU. Can you just tell him that I'll not be able to come to work today? And I don't know when I'll be able to come back, but leo siwezi kabisa. I didn't even go and stay at the hospital the whole day. I just stayed at home because I just couldn't. I went to see her later on that day, but I just couldn't leave the house that morning. My head was not in the right space. I was so worried for my grandma and all of those things, so I just didn't go anywhere. But I tell the driver and I'm like, mwambie tu, siwezi kuja leo. I have to go and be with my grandma. And the driver asiana skiza. And he goes like, okay, sawa ambia shosho pole. And I'm like, sawa, thanks. This man waits for me to go back to work, and he comes and removes me from production. Because I called him, and then I called my productions manager, and I told him I'll not be able to come because of ABCD. In case HR ulize mwambie. And he did. But nimerudi job, that man comes and takes me out of production and he's like, why didn't you come to work? And I explained to him, I told him I called. And then he's like, why didn't you call me? I was like, I called you a couple of times. You refused to answer. On my phone, I still have the missed calls. Like, I have them. I can show you that I tried to call you several times, not once, a couple of times. And then when you didn't answer, I called the driver and I heard you in the background say you don't want to talk to me. But I called him and I told him to tell you what was happening. I called my productions manager and I told him, no. Don't tell me hizi vitu. Hizi vitu niambia ni nini hizi? Sitaki kusikia. I want you to write an apology letter. And I was like, okay. Because you have to explain why you didn't text after you called and the phone was not answered. Nikaambia, okay. So I wrote to him an apology letter that said, I'm sorry that I did not text you after I called and you refused to answer my phone calls. He was so pissed off. Alikuja akashout zaidi akaniambia vile that one is going to my permanent record. And I'm like, kwani ni maisha? Inaenda kwa polisi sasa ipatiwa ID, itangwa hiyo paper ya certificate of good conduct because umeniandikia ati nimekuambia nini. He spoke rubbish. That man spoke nonsense. And then later on he came to threaten me because tulikuwa tunakaribia evaluations. He came to threaten me that sasa vile umekuanga kichwa ngumu na kuambiwa andike apology letter unaandika madharau zako na sasa evaluations imefika. Hausalimii watu, unakuwa rude kwa watu. Unataka tuandike aje kwa evaluation yako? See, I'll fail you. Ama unataka tusaidiane aje? I looked at him and was like, I don't care. Honestly, I don't. If the evaluation is about my job, ask my production manager. He's the one who's supposed to do the evaluation in the first place. So if he says that I do not do my job well, fine. Write whatever you want. But kama ati ni kutosalimia watu, sijui kutosmailia watu, kutoka niende ati sijui nikachotea watu maji production na niache kazi yangu, we can even go to the boss himself. Tuone kama atakuwa sawa na hiyo ama hapana, because he's a very strong believer of people should not leave their workplaces. Let's go. Kaambia wewe ni Rui sana. Nikamwambia mimi si Rui. The way you've been treating mimi zaitota kwa ofisi ya principal tangu nianze kusoma. And here tangu nyi mkuje, how many times have I gone to the HR? Something that has never happened to me. I worked with Chef George vizuri tena sana university before all of you guys were employed. And now all the time I'm here in the office being told ABCD. What is this? If anything, I should be evaluating you. Honestly, during that evaluation, he was fired because a couple of women complained, including those marketing girls, because of the treatment. And this, what I've said, need just the top layer because, that man, mimi sijaipitia kwa mikono za watu na ubaya kama huyo na mwanaume wa pastry. Never. And they were just terrible. Those two men, both of them were fired. After your evaluation, they got fired. because I don't know if the production manager is the one who complained about the pastry manager, ama ni nani, but he got fired. This HR, he also got fired because people complained. Unajua anasahau, as much as he is evaluating us, we're also supposed to be evaluating him as the HR, and so he ended up being fired. That other kabos mwenye alikuwa anatupatia my exams, pia yeye, he ended up being fired. So these three men ended up being fired, and that marketing team, they also got fired at some point, and I was left behind. So again, I ask, was I the drama, or were these people the ones bringing the drama to me? Honestly, I want to know. Because I remember these things and I'm like very, very upset about them. I'm very torn about them sometimes because I'm like, honestly, was I the problem? Ama ni watu walikuwa wananitafuta. Juu sielewi. Anyway, next story. Same workplace. By the way, hiyo place nilipitia, but this one is minor. So one time, hiyo nimetoka production sasa. Hiyo kampuni nilizungushwa, nimetoka huko. I'm at the restaurant now as a cashier. While working as the cashier, there's this woman who was told that she is our boss. She's my supervisor. But alikuwa nalipwa pesa mingi for doing nothing. I was basically doing her job and my job and other people's jobs. Nilikuwa nafanya kazi kwa hiyo restaurant. I was the cashier, I was the server, like the person who plates the dishes. I was the cook. I used to make like breakfast items na vitu kama hizo. I was like doing cleaning vyombo na nini. Like nilikuwa nafanya kazi mob, and I also like sort of heading that area because nilikuwa kama some kubwa wa my waitress. So, but this woman is supposed to be the one who is overseeing us, but she never used to do that. So anakuja after ameblanda, anaanza so akiuliza maswali za ujinga, trying to, I don't know, make jokes that really weren't landing, and she was just a terrible person. I don't like her. I never did. So, I love too, I didn't respect her as a woman. There are things she had done in her personal life, decisions she had made, that as a woman, I was very upset about them, her decisions. Na ni watu wengi, si mimi peke yangu. A lot of the people we worked with were like looking at her and were like, this woman is a disgrace to women. And if I told you her story, you would understand. But I'm not going to do that. But yeah, so I just didn't respect her. I think she's one of the people I've just never respected from the moment I met. So I didn't respect her. I love to say she's supposed to be my boss. So I don't know what happened this day. She comes and talks to me and I'm just responding. I wasn't smiling at her. And so she goes like, you should learn how to smile. So I have a beach resting face. I just don't go around smiling. When the guests would come, because I was the cashier, I would smile at them, talk to them. But this was work related. So I didn't have a problem with it. Customer kikuja automatically. But with her, I just never felt the need to smile. So she goes to the HR and complains to her that I do not smile. And the HR comes and calls me and anikalisha, Mildred, can I talk to you for a while? I'm like, okay. So there have been some complaints. Now, these are different HR. After that first one, the male one was fired. Tukaletewa mwanamke because they were like, hey, mwanaume alikuja wanawake waka complain, sexual harassment, blah, blah, blah. So tukaletewa mwanamke. Now, this one, she was polite, but alikuwa like a naskisa, especially with that woman. So akakuja kaniambia, there have been some complaints. People are complaining that you're not smiling at them, that you're supposed to be smiling. You know, the job that you're doing, you're supposed to be smiling. Nikamwambia, any customers wame complain? She was like, no, just some people who work here. Who? Everybody who works here, I've worked with them from Westlands. Long before we came to this Ruiru, I've worked with all of these people. They know that I have a beach resting face. They have no problem with it. They know I'm not upset with them, so none of them will complain. The only person who could complain, the person who tried to tell me to smile at them, is so-and-so. And she was like, no, we're not going to mention names. I just came to you to... I was like, I know you're not going to mention names. You are not mentioning names. I'm mentioning names. The person who complained is so-and-so. Now, please go and tell her. I do not smile at people just for the sake of smiling. They have to make me smile. Like, you must be the joy. I see the joy in you and I smile automatically. When it comes to the guests, that's an issue. I smile at wanafikanga tu hivi, hi, good morning, and I smile. That is just something. Unless wamekuja pia na attitude yao, because I reciprocate your attitude. Ukuja kwa umenikunja, so I'll not smile, but I'll not be rude. I'll just talk to you cordially because ni job. I will not smile because you're not smiling. But if you smile at me, I'll smile at you. Now, that woman who came to complain to you, I do not smile at her because she does not bring joy out of me. And now please go and tell her that if she has an issue with my face, let her take it up with God. He created me this way, and that's how I am. End of the story. Alienda huko kwa ofisi akiannounce like, hey, Mildred amesema mtu kama kuna issue na uso yake wende ucomplain kwa Mungu. Waulize Mungu because it's not a really problem. And from that moment I was never asked again about smiling ama sijui nini because the customers never complained apart from this one woman and of course that girl who had complained before. And I was like, seriously, these people need to wake up because I don't do it. I just don't. But they've always complained about I think somebody complained about my tone. I think it's that girl as well, that Mary girl. She complained about my tone at some point. And my tone can be very harsh sometimes. But if I'm talking to somebody who's not used to talking to me, they can hear the way I'm talking. They're like, hey, mbona unanishautia? Mbona niongelesha hivyo na hasira na madharau? And I'm like, yo, you have never spoken to me. You don't know how I speak. Do not assume that I'm complaining. Nikiamua kukushautia utajua na kushautia. Nikiamua kuwa strict ama whatever, you will know that I'm being that. So please, tafadhali, dial back a notch, okay? So yeah, that one ended there. And so in that case, also I ask, was I the drama ama were they just tough-tying me? Because I do not understand. I do not understand kabisa. Now, I think I'm going to talk about one more for now. Maybe later on I'll talk about another one. Or maybe I just pass through it. Like the way patients used to talk to me sometimes. And then when I wouldn't react the way they wanted me to react, they would be like, mbona uko na madharau, mbona nikunjia uso, mbona nini nini. And I'm like, in my head, I'm asking myself, unataka tuweze kujibishana na wewe? Because working as a service person, like sometimes it's very, very difficult. Customer care, receptionist, jobs kama hizo. And I understand because I've said this before. I know sometimes I call the customer care people, na ile hasira niko nayo because of what their company has done. I'm like shouting and then I'm like, oh, I know it's not your fault that this has happened, but understand I'm only complaining because you're my first point of contact with this company. And I have to let this out on somebody because why are you doing this to me? And I apologize. But then nowadays I've learned to apologize. I apologize to them. I'm like, I'm sorry I yelled. I'm sorry for, being as angry as I was at the beginning. It's just, I'm so frustrated. It's just that I'm so frustrated. And I text you guys, you do not respond. I do this, you do not reply. And then I have to call and this is credit I'm wasting just to tell you something. And then after me solve, my Wi-Fi. Guy, after mesha resolve, after nimepiga nika complain, resolve, sasa ndio mnajibu message kwa WhatsApp. Na nikipiga mara kwanza mnaniambia we're not answering right now, please send us a message on our WhatsApp. But anyway, I've learned how to apologize nowadays. Ama saa zingine, I'm just like, I start slow, I calm myself down. I'm like, I know it's not your fault, but tell me, why do you people do blah, 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 blah? I do not raise my voice, I do not complain, I just ask. And alafu naenda vile wananijibu. But working in service areas, like it's very, very difficult to deal with people. And so while I was working at the doctor's clinics, both of them, dealing with patients, like I understand you're sick or you are asking about your sick relative or something. But mbono niletee mimi hasira, umepiga nimekuambia kile nimekuambia, yeah. Alafu unaanza kunijibisha mimi. You start talking down on me. You expect me to just keep quiet and be like, oh yeah, I'm so sorry. Oh, blah, blah, blah. By the way, no. There's this animation about Veronica. Veronica does it so well. Like Veronica nakujanga anakuambia tu like, no. Hata na hang up. I used to hang up on people because you cannot start talking to me badly and expect me to still be on the phone because you know the doctor, ama because you are Indian like the doctor, ama because you think you have more money than me. I will hang up. I have the power to hang up. I don't have to listen to you. So in that situation, am I the drama ama watu wanakuja kuniongelesha vile wanajisikia ndio wako na shida? Because I will do that and then I will feel guilty later because I will feel guilty and I'm like, why did I do that? But then I'll be like, but then they were on the wrong. So as I was thinking about all of these things, I was like, Was I right to do it? Were they really harassing me? Because why just decide to be rude to me? Oh, the customer is always right. And when I react, I become the bad person. I was like, no, I cannot be the drama. I'm not the drama. And I refuse to take the blame. But anyway, in some instances, I would be like, yeah, maybe I overreacted a little bit. I could have given them a little bit of grace. But kuna zingine manzi, mtu anakutukana, unanyamaza tu. You're like, okay, let me just take it. And then this person tells me, mbona unaniangalia hivyo, mbona unabehave hivyo, mbona unapumua ni kama umenikasirikia. I'm like, what is this? Honestly, what is this? But anyway, in that one, I was not the drama. And I'm so glad I never reacted with that one. Because huyo, sijui ningemjibu nini, nama ningemfanyia nini. Mali alikuwa amenifikisha cause mtu kukutusi matusi kubwa kubwa kubwa. Like, I can't even repeat them on this podcast. Like, yo, it was just terrible. But I caught myself. I did not even like show it on my face. I was just like, wacha niendelee na kazi zangu and move on. But yeah. So kulikuwa na hiyo. The last one that I'm going to talk about is that one time the doctor that I was working for lied using my name and I questioned her about it. I was like, why would you say I said something even though I know that I didn't say it? It's because that's what I felt like you said. I was like, is that really okay? If I was to feel like you said something to me that you didn't say and I went around telling people that's what you said, wouldn't I be on the wrong for doing that? And she was like, yeah, but you have to. And I was like, no, I can't understand that. Because I did not say what you thought I said. I said this. Why couldn't you just believe that what I said is what I was saying? But instead you had to find fault in my words and then go and change them and start telling people or somebody else that I said this and that. And so because I questioned her that day, that's when she labeled me temperamental and very emotional and all of that. Because I was like, no, don't lie using my name. I told her, do not lie using my name. Because my name, whenever you walk into a room and start talking about Mildred, they know that it's me. So if you're lying using my name, the next time I'll walk into that room, they will look at me and go like, oh, that is the Mildred that alifanya 1, 2, 3. And I did not do that. So people around me start believing lies about me. And it's all because you said something you felt like that's what I said, that's what I meant. And that's not fair. So that day, and again, because of the reaction of the other doctor, and she said some very, very painful things to me that day, because talking to them about this issue, it brought up other issues that I had with them and nini. So we had this entire conversation. And that other one, because she was trying to cover up for her driver, who was also harassing me at the time. So she started trying to defend him, but now trying to put me down, telling me that I'm a mere secretary and ABCD and 1, 2, 3 and all of these things. Until that other doctor was like, hey, you cannot say that. Stop. And she was trying to stop her in Hindu. And I looked at that woman, and that one I felt like slapping her. Honestly. I was like, if I wasn't working for you, I would have slapped you. Because of what she was saying to me. And the bad thing is that I couldn't do anything. So because ile feeling unakuwa nayo when you want to say something and you can't, so you feel like crying, and you also can't cry because I didn't want to cry in front of them. So when I went to say something, my voice was very, like, broken, like full of emotion. And so they dubbed me emotional. And because I questioned them, they dubbed me temperamental. And sometimes I'm so afraid when I'm looking for work, I feel like if they're ever called by anyone to give me like a recommendation or something, I feel like that's what they say. I used to doubt it. Like, Paka, there's some CV I've written that their names are not there. I read that, yes, I've worked in their company, but I do not write their names as my Nini referees. Because I don't trust that they will do or say the right thing when it comes to me, because of what they did back then. For somebody to come and tell me that, us bosses, we can say whatever we want to say and you are not supposed to be upset. You're just supposed to take it and understand what we're saying and do whatever it is that we say because we are bosses and you are not. For somebody to tell you something like that, This is somebody who can do anything. For somebody to lie using my name, that is somebody who can do just anything to me or, to whoever. So again, in that situation, did I overreact by asking them? Did I overreact by trying to defend my name? So was I the drama or were they really on the wrong? Okay, just tell me on the comments down below. DM me if you want on Mimi's Musings Podcast Instagram, or send me a message on my WhatsApp if you have my number, and let's discuss this because I really need to know if I overreacted, if I was the drama, or these people are the ones who are causing an issue. And I know the stories, the things I've said, there are three sides to every story. So there's my side and the way I perceive the story. There's the other person's side and the way they saw the situation. And then there's the side of the truth. But the side of the truth lies with one of us because the thing happened to me and it happened to the other person. So there must have been a truth in there, right? So yeah, tell me if you agree with me that I was in the drama, or tell me if you agree, like, yeah, you are the drama. If you think that, yeah, I was the drama because I was the one involved in all of these situations. But remember, that's life. Every one of us has a story that they were like, hey, mtu fulani alinifanyia, mtu fulani alisema, mtu fulani. And yes, they were happening to you, but these people were hurting you. Sometimes I feel like I have imposter syndrome whenever I think about the things that I've been through. I feel like I don't know how to explain it, but sometimes I feel like I have imposter syndrome because I'm like, maybe I was the drama, or maybe I deserved it, or maybe it didn't happen to me, or it was just something that happened to somebody else. I wasn't that person that happened to. I'm not the kind of person that such a thing would happen to, or something like that. I suffer from imposter syndrome sometimes when I think about my life, and maybe it's willingly because I just don't want to accept that the things were done to me, that the pain happened to me, that I'm the one who faced those situations or something like that. But yeah, I hope that once I get money, proper money, I can go back to therapy and maybe start working up on these things and just nizifafanue. I get to the other side of them and come to understand that, yeah, maybe I was the problem, or maybe no, I wasn't the problem. These people are the problem, and move on from them, because the fact that I'm still thinking about them, the fact that I'm still going back to those moments and be like, oh yeah, this happened to me and it was wrong, or this happened to me and I didn't take it the way I was supposed to take it, or this happened to me and maybe I didn't carry it with the weight that it was supposed to be carried with. Yeah, I think there's a problem still. The fact that my mind goes there sometimes, I think there's a big problem. So yeah, maybe one day I'll go back to therapy and I'll walk through them and I'll come out of the other side a better person. Yeah, because that's what we do. We're always working to be better than our former selves. So the person that I was yesterday, today I have to be better and better and better, and that's how life is. So I think I'm going to leave it at that for today. I'll maybe continue another time, maybe, because I've been through a lot, as I've said before. I have been through a lot, and maybe I'll do another Was I the Drama part 2, maybe sometime in the future. I don't know, not anytime soon, but maybe when I remember about other things that I've been through, I can talk about them like this, and you can help me. Tell me if I was the drama or not. Okay, so please listen. If you've come to this moment, thank you so much. We're stuck at 30 subscribers. I hope that we get more. Please, tafadhali, tell your brother, to tell your sister, to tell your whoever to come and subscribe. Please be listening. Again, I see some of the ones that I have like 30 people who have listened. They only listen to a couple of minutes, like my introduction peke yake, and then they get out. So I don't know why people are doing that. So if you have listened up to this moment, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. You're the people who keep making me go and go and go. Like, even if not wawili watatu peke yake wanasikiza, I'm very appreciative because you got to this moment. And yeah, I thank you so much. Continue doing it. Do not give up on me. Do not give up on this podcast. I really want to continue doing it. I want to be like, I started this and I'm still growing it and I'm not giving up. So please do not let go of my hand. Continue holding my hand and walking with me through this journey. Okay, I thank you so much, and I love you so much for doing this for me. Please, as I was saying, please listen, like, share, subscribe, And remember to hit the bell for notifications so that whenever I upload something new, you'll always be the first one to come and listen, or at least among the first ones to come and listen. Okay? And while you do that, please go on Instagram and follow me at Mimi's Musings Podcast, and I'll be very, very grateful as well. And interact with the things that I post there as well, not just on YouTube, but also on Mimi's Musings Podcast on Instagram. Okay? Bye bye now. Love you.